So, James Gunn, this is a guy we've been talking about for quite a while now. His new reboot of the DCU. DCEU is no more. Now we're just kicking out the E and it is now just DCU. So, like I said, we're looking at a full reboot. No Henry Cavill, no Gal Gadot, no Ben Affleck, no Jason Momoa, at least not as Aquaman, possibly recast as Lobo. It's getting pretty crazy over there at DC. And when it comes to talking about this reboot, one of the castings from the original DCU that I know a lot of people are actually going to be happy we're moving on from is Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Of course, he played the character in Batman v Superman and had a cameo for the post-credit scene of Justice League, or at least Justice League. And, so yeah, this is a casting that I am not a huge fan of, but I never hated it as much as most people do. Like, he's definitely miscast. I think he would have made a great Riddler. It just didn't feel like Lex Luthor. But I wouldn't have minded seeing more of the character. But looking at, no more Henry Cavill and no more all these other people, Lex Luthor is being recast. There's no denying that. Just like in the way that we're not getting back Jared Leto as Joker either. So then that, of course, brings up the question of, okay, who's going to play the new Lex Luthor? And honestly, I think at this point, nobody's really thinking about that. People are thinking more like, okay, who's going to play the new Superman? Who's going to play the new Batman? Who's going to play the new Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash? All that stuff. But you got to think about the villains, guys. So who is going to play the brand new Lex Luthor in the DCU? Well, Michael Rosenbaum was asked about this recently. Of course, Michael Rosenbaum played Lex Luthor on Smallville, my favorite comic book TV show, and my favorite portrayal of the character of Lex Luthor. It's just such a well-developed version of Lex Luthor, and that is mainly in part due to the fact that, it's a 10-season show. He was in 7-ish seasons of it. So he really had time to develop the character. That's why the character is so good. But also just Michael Rosenbaum, just great adaptation of Lex Luthor. So of course, when it comes to casting a new version of Lex Luthor, everybody's coming to see, hey, Michael Rosenbaum, would you like to do this? I mean, the same thing happened when they said, oh, we're going to be bringing Lex Luthor to Supergirl. And they're like, oh, we should cast Michael Rosenbaum. But then we got John Cryer, which was actually a great version as well. But Michael Rosenbaum has now been asked, hey, James Gunn, your good friend James Gunn is rebooting the DCU. Would you like to take over as Lex Luthor? And usually Mike Rosenbaum is like, nah, I don't really want to do that. I had my time as Lex Luthor. I'm good. But this time he was basically like, you know what? Yeah, I'd be down. I would do it. So, yeah. Apparently we could be getting Michael Rosenbaum, the best version of Lex Luthor, back as Lex Luthor. Now, is this going to happen? I highly doubt it, because again, it's a reboot. It is a complete reboot. They're not going to bring in a person who played the character previously, even if it is a different universe. I mean, you can argue the fact that, like, oh, well, J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson. They brought him back, and now he's in the MCU playing a different version of the character. So realistically, it could happen, and as much as I would love it to happen, I don't think it will. Because, for one, let's think about Michael Rosenbaum's perspective on this, first of all. So, he played Lex Luthor on TV, on Smallville, for 7 years. 7-ish years. For the first 7 seasons of Smallville. Then he left the show because, it's the classic TV actor trope where it's like, oh, they think they're going to be a big star. Goes off to be a big movie star. It does not work out for them. And then he comes back in the finale of Smallville, the series finale. So he played Lex Luthor on TV. So, of course, he's thinking like, I don't want to do that again. But, if I get to be in a movie, play Lex Luthor in a movie, I mean, you see how much money these big blockbuster superhero comic book movies make. Yeah, of course he's going to be interested in that. He, at this point, like, he wouldn't want to have to shave his head again to play Lex Luthor on TV. But if he gets paid that much to do it for a movie, he would totally be down for that. Now, we also have a Lex Luthor reprisal of Michael Rosenbaum coming up, as both Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling, who of course played Clark Kent Superman on Smallville, they are developing a Smallville animated series, a sequel series, kind of reunion type thing, for Smallville. And Michael Rosenbaum has recently commented about that they're going to be pitching that series to James Gunn in the beginning of 2023. So that's something I'm still really excited for, and it's nice to see that that's still happening. But again, I just don't think it's going to happen. You know, they're doing a complete reboot, and as much as I love Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor, he is a great version of Lex Luthor. They're probably going to go for, first of all, somebody younger. I mean, Michael Rosenbaum isn't old by any means. I mean, he's only in his 30s, maybe actually, I'd say probably at least 40s at this point. Yeah, it's been a while since Smallville was on. He's probably in his 30s when Smallville was on, maybe. I don't remember. Yeah, so we're getting a younger Superman in this DCU reboot. We're probably going to be getting a younger Lex Luthor, and they're going to want to go for somebody new. Now, whether that's like a known actor or a newcomer, you never know. Just like how nobody knew Tom Holland before he was cast as Spider-Man. Now he's one of the biggest movie stars. That's the thing that the MCU does, and they're probably going to be trying to do that with the DCU as well. So while it would be cool, I just doubt it's going to happen. Michael Rosenbaum will forever live on as the best version of Lex Luthor, unless this new one ends up being even better. But for now, he's the best version of Lex Luthor, at least in my opinion, and I would love to see him reprise his role again. We are getting him back for that animated series, which is going to be really fun. But I think he's going to be sticking to Lex Luthor in the Smallville universe rather than coming into the big screen DCU. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. What do you think about this news that Michael Rosenbaum is indeed open to playing Lex Luthor in live action again for the DCU? I mean, why would he not want to? I mean, you'd be making a lot of money for that. But again, I just doubt it's going to happen. So let me know your own thoughts on this in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep it up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.